like standing on chairs. I usually stand on chairs, but these chairs are littler than what I normally have. All right, so here we go. So this is a content review activity. Now what I'm going to ask you to do is to answer questions physically. The questions are fun, some Hollywood, some history, I don't know, sports, etc. And they're multiple choice. Okay, so we're not very far up Bloom's taxonomy, but there's a purpose to all this. Multiple choice questions. So if the answer is A, I would just like you to walk in place. Would you do that with me? Just walk. That answer is A. If the answer is B, would you touch your opposite knee? If the answer is C, would you do an upper body jumping jack? Right, just wave your arms. And if the answer is C, we'll go like this and touch the opposite elbow. D. No, that's early, really early. Okay, so let's review one more time. A, great. B, opposite knee. C, and D. Fantastic. Don't answer until I give all 4 answers to the question. Does it sound good? All right, so here we go. Remember, no answers physically or out loud until we're done with all the answers, all the options. What city is the capital of California? Is it A, Sacramento, B, Los Angeles, C, San Francisco, or D, San Diego? Go. Very good. A, Sacramento. B, which person was not a U.S. president? Is it A, George Washington? That's not correct. Okay. B, John Quincy Adams, C, Alexander Hamilton, or D, Martin Van Buren? Go. The answer is C, Alexander Hamilton, first Secretary of Treasury. Number 3, this is a little easier, I think. Which actress portrayed Erin Brockovich? Is it A, Charlize Theron, B, Jennifer Aniston, C, Julia Roberts, or D, Angelina Jolie? Go. That is correct. C, Julia Roberts. Let's 2 or 3 more, then we'll talk about this. Sports question, and what was considered the worst trade in the history of sports? Babe Ruth was traded to the New York Yankees from what team? Was it the A, Chicago White Sox? Was it B, Philadelphia A's? Was it C, the Brooklyn Dodgers, or D, the Boston Red Sox? Go. The answer is D. Answer is D. 2 more. Which actor portrayed the Terminator? A, Sylvester Stallone, B, Arnold Schwarzenegger, C, John Wayne, or D, Jim Brown? Go. Correct. B. Fantastic. And finally, which actor portrayed the original Batman? Now, not Adam West. We're talking about mid to late 80s. Okay? A, Bruce Willis, B, Val Kilmer, C, Michael Keaton, or D, Christopher Reeves? Go. C. And it is C, Michael Keaton. Good. Now, when we review this way, what are some of the benefits? Kids are engaged. They're in the moment. They're motivated. The biggest advantage to a kinesthetic classroom and using movement in the classroom is a motivated learner. This is not always appropriate, but it is sometimes. It is more often than you think, actually. So what else? That's 1. What else? Yes?
It has every student answering the question.
Absolutely. How many times have you said, who's the 3rd president of the United States? And the same 5 kids raised their hand. Sally, go. And the rest of the kids said, glad she didn't call on me. Right? We shut down their retrieval process because some kids are quick learners but they're slow retrievers. Some kids are slow learners and they're quick retrievers. We have a lot of different variables. So we engage everybody. Another thing is that it's safe, isn't it? I saw plenty of people going, oh yeah. Okay? It's a non-threatening way to do the assessment piece. So what else? Yes?
We're at the Summer Institute for Learning this summer. One of the things that one of the presenters says is just standing up alone is more engaging. 10% more knowledge is gained just by standing up alone. So we're just by standing up, even if we're not necessarily getting into what's going on.
That's absolutely right. And I'm just hitting things in the short time that we have here today. But when you sit for too long, blood pools in the butt and legs. So just by standing it, you get about 30% more blood flow to the brain. And you absolutely become a better learner. And you get an academic brain break. You know, you've been using energizers, you've been using brain breaks. This is a brain break where you keep going academically. So it acts as the same thing, but it substitutes something that's content-oriented. Anything else? Yes?
You're not just thinking of the answer to the question, you're thinking of which movement matches it.
Correct. Multitasking. Good for the brain. You're putting two things together and you're adding a movement to an answer. Yeah, anything else? How about that one more? It's a great assessment tool. Great assessment tool. How often do you get to know exactly what your kids understand? Usually you have to grade papers to do that. And this gives you an overall view, pretty good idea of what you might, at the end of the activity, might need to go over. You know, if I was going to have you guys back in here tomorrow, I would need to go back over which of these individuals was not a U.S. president. I found that out very quickly. Okay? It gives you a lot of information. So, you know, using movement is fun, but it's not about fun. Fun being a basic human need, by the way. It can be fun, but it's all about academic achievement. It's all about making a more efficient learner. It's about implicit learning versus explicit learning, because most school learning happens explicitly. Words, books, listening. Not that it's bad, not at all, but it's not the way the brain prefers to learn. The brain prefers to learn this way, through emotion, through movement, when you don't even know you're doing the learning. Okay, something to keep in mind. Okay, a lot of fantastic other ways to review content using movement, but we're going to move into teaching content using movement. So you can take your seats for a moment. Thank you. Okay, let's go in this order. All right, so what I'd like you to do, if I could I have just 6 volunteers to come up here and stand in a circle? I promise I won't embarrass you. I swear. All you're going to do is going to stand there. You won't say anything. You won't do anything. Come on up. Just going to stand there. Keep breathing. One more. Okay, now make a really nice circle. Now grade level in here. How many different grade levels?
Pre-K to 4.
Pre-K to 4, okay. I try to find some generic things, but they're all, you can create things based on what you see. I just want you to give you a general idea of what to do. This might be a little bit beyond 4th grade, definitely beyond pre-K and K, but I'll show it to you anyway. Now I need a walker. I need one person to walk. Again, all you're going to do is walk. I won't embarrass you. You won't make any mistakes. Okay. Nice circle, no goose eggs, no ovals. Doesn't have to be real tight, just needs to be a nice circle. Okay. I want you to start right here, and you're going to walk heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, all the way around the circle. Count your steps.
She's rethinking it the most as she has.
That's right. Tough Monday. All right, what do you got?
27.
Stay there. Okay, now turn towards me. And would you let her just open up the circle a little bit? Do the same thing. Now go back to where you were. There you go. Now turn towards me. And I want you to do the same thing, but walk a straight line and count your steps. So 7 or so. And she came up a little bit, so probably about 7.5. So what did we do kinesthetically? Anybody else? We did the circumference and diameter. Circumference being a bit more than 3 times the diameter of a circle. We took it off the overhead, we took it out of the book, we took it away from the worksheet, out of your mouth, and they got to do it. There's other things at play here as well, such things like episodic memory. You have an episodic advantage when you use your body to learn. The brain is always creating a learning address for where you learn something. So if there's children inside this activity, they're more likely to remember the formula, the geometric equation, if they're doing it. Our body prefers to do. And it all goes back to this brain-body connection. Remember, education happens from the feet up, not just from the neck up. That's something we have to keep in mind. Again, it's not always appropriate, but oftentimes it is. Would all of you do me one more favor? Come on down here this way, because I want everybody to see this. would you please line up side by side, facing the audience? Tallest person here, shortest person down there. Sarah Cowell. It's great. I think that's perfect. Actually, yeah. What we have here is a number line. And you are going to be 0. Okay? You're not 0. Correct. Okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3. And we, oftentimes it's difficult for kids to understand that -2 is less than +2. But now they can see it. Now they can feel it. You can do some simple addition and subtraction out of here. But we're doing it kinesthetically. So it becomes more real, more concrete. The brain wants concrete. It likes concrete. These are examples of implicit learning. Let me ask you a question quickly. How many people here remember the first 10 presidents of the United States? Raise your hand. Some people can. I usually get 1 or 2 per group.
About 4.
About 4, okay. How many people in here can turn a twist and put in a light bulb? Yeah. One's explicit, one's implicit. I'm not trying to say they work independently. They don't. Explicit and implicit learning work together. But implicit, again, is the brain's preferred way to learn. And the light bulb thing, you watch somebody do it one time, and boom. You tried it once, and you have it forever. Okay?
That's one of the extras. I have to go get light bulbs every day, and that's in my head.
And you can do it easily, right? The presidents, now, you learned it one time, I'm sure you did in school, but it was done explicitly. So it's more difficult for the brain to do. And the other thing the brain says is, hey, who cares? I can Google it, I can find that information. If the brain, well, let's think about this for a second. It could be, as far as the brain is concerned, difficult to screw in the light bulb. We take it for granted. It's just not. It's the brain's preferred way. Learning 10 presidents could be easy for the brain. It could be, but it's not. Not the way our brain's set up. So, thank you very much. I'm going to follow the whole class next, so you can go back to your seats. Appreciate it. Let's do a little bit of language arts. If I could have everybody.
Yes? You standing outside today? I have some little ones that are not dressed appropriately at all.
Can you please stand at your seats once
We're
again?
outside, but if it's search
We're going to do some vocabulary work using So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to give you a word. It's actually an SAT vocabulary. But again, you can use it at your level. Then I'm going to give you 2 definitions, 2 word definitions, and then repeat the word. Let's just start there. So it's going to say, let me do it first. Gregarious, talkative, outgoing, gregarious. Can you repeat that with me? Here we go. Gregarious, talkative, outgoing, gregarious. Now this time when I say talkative, or when we say talkative together, I want you to go like this. And when I say outgoing, I want you to go like this. And we'll do it the same way. We're just going to add 2 movements. So let's start from the beginning. Ready? Gregarious, talkative, outgoing, gregarious. Great. One more time. Ready? Gregarious, talkative, outgoing, gregarious. I spoke last week at a career day at Berks Catholic High School in Berks County, where I live. And I had a girl come up to me and say, you were here last year. Last year I gave a keynote. I said, yes, I was. She said, you know what? Yeah, because I remember learning gregarious. Talkative, outgoing, gregarious. I swear it's a true story. That's a year later. That's how powerful this is. I cannot impress upon you enough with the brain-body connection going on and using movement to learn when it's appropriate and when you can. You're the professionals in your classrooms. You make those decisions. Just know its power. Come back to that. Okay, 2 more. Obstinate, hard-headed, unyielding, obstinate. Just say it. Ready? Obstinate, hard-headed, unyielding, obstinate. So, hard-headed, unyielding, obstinate. Let's do it together. Ready? Obstinate, hard-headed, unyielding, obstinate. Back to the first one. Go. Gregarious, talkative, outgoing, gregarious. Great. One more. Malleable, flexible, pliable, malleable. Ready? Malleable, flexible, pliable, malleable. Now what we're going to do is flexible, pliable, malleable. Ready? Malleable, flexible, pliable, malleable. From the beginning, then we'll be done with this. Ready? Gregarious. Gregarious, talkative, outgoing, gregarious. Obstinate, hard-headed, unyielding, obstinate. Malleable, flexible, pliable, malleable. Great. Have a seat. Page 1. Okay. All right, let's just do a couple more, and then, 8:25 or so, 8:28, be time to give you guys a start to your day. So yeah, there's a clock. How about that? If I could do this, if I could have the three of you, 1, 2, 3. Not gonna do anything difficult. Stand up. All right, just stay there for right now. Could I have everybody else in the room just come over here somewhere where these tables are? I don't care if you're seated or standing, just come over here somewhere. Thank you, excuse me. Great. Now, if the three of you would please just spread out wherever you want in this half of the room. You have all this space. Okay, now if we were studying representation in the House, or population density, or electoral college, this is a very quick social studies activity. So, 3 representatives in the House, really big state. Can you take a guess? What state is this?
Texas.
Now look at how many representatives they had. Do you think Texas has 3? You're getting closer. It's Montana. Okay, so Montana has 3 representatives in the House. It is a huge piece of land. So what's our population density like? Not very much so. Now we have a state where I'm going to call you 31 people. Okay, you're 31, you are packed into a corner, so think about population density and think about representation. So now what state are we talking about? What do you think? You're in the general region. It's New York. Yeah, it's New York. So kinesthetically, because I saw this, because I felt it, because I'm a part of it, it's much more easy to remember, much easier to remember than if I read about it or if you told me about it, because I experienced it and did it. How about, okay, let's do one more. Everybody come on back here. This will be a elementary. How many people here teach cardinal directions? And we'll end our time today with this activity. If you would stand somewhere out here and just face me, I'll be up front. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
When I say north in the story, I am north. I just need to take a few steps forward. So let's practice this. North, south, east, west. Okay, here we go. I woke up one Saturday morning and I decided that I wanted to take a trip, but I didn't know where to go. Should I go south toward warm weather? Should I go north to see Niagara Falls? Should I go west to Ohio to ride one of my favorite roller coasters at Cedar Point? Or should I go east to see my friends in New Jersey? There's so many wonderful things to see and do that I just couldn't make a decision. Finally, I decided to bounce a penny onto my map and follow its path. The penny landed on Niagara Falls, so I began to head north. On my way there, I decided to take a small detour and headed east to Bar Harbor, Maine. After a day of whale watching, I headed west back toward Niagara Falls. It was very wet. What should I do next, I wondered. Then I realized I'd never seen a flamingo, so I headed south to Florida. I was so hot there that after a little while, I knew that I needed to go somewhere cooler. I decided to go to Mammoth Cave in Kentucky I figured that a cave would be cool, but oh my, I had a problem. Kentucky wasn't in just one direction, but two from Florida. What was I to do? Then it hit me. I would go in both directions at the same time. Boy, am I smart or what? I traveled northwest and found the cave. The cave was fun for a while, but then I decided to visit my friend Cowboy Sam, so I headed southwest to Dallas, Texas. Sam wasn't home, so I decided to travel northeast to Washington, D.C. to see the White House. That got me thinking about the president, so I headed northwest to Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. It was amazing. So there's another paragraph or two, but you get the point. Okay? While you're standing here, I hope you have a little bit more insight about why this is important, how engaging it is. Let me ask you one question. Were you more engaged? We didn't talk a lot about the brain today. I do that a lot when I do these types of workshops. But were you more engaged when I was talking to you or while you were involved with the activity? Of course. So when you're teaching your kids today, think about that. This is necessary. This is necessary. We have to develop those listening skills, note-taking skills, studying skills. I realize that. But I help teachers to become more efficient with teaching and learning. And this is a part of that. Movement is a part of that. It's a powerful part of that because of the brain-body connection. So I thank you very much. You have a fantastic day.